This is a story of how I played my best chess tournament yet. So the tournament was last week and I played against very, very strong chess players and I managed to get good results. So I'm not going to show you all 7 games, but I'm going to show you just 3 of the games that I played. And this is the first game. I played against an unrated girl, but was she strong? Yes. So I was playing with the white pieces and I started with e4, e5. Let's just skip the opening. But let me just show you that b6 is a mistake. It was better to offer the queen exchange. If I take, then she has an active knight. Okay, so b6, bishop c4. Yeah, maybe knight c3 is better. Now, here we just activate our pieces. We exchange queens, castle, and here I set up a trap for her. If she took my pawn, it seems like the pawn is free, right? But it's not, because after this exchange, I pin her bishop, and even if she tries to protect it, I move f3, and the bishop can't move. But she didn't fall for this trap. She made land castle. Now I took her pawn, she took mine. And here I moved bishop g5, and it turns out that her rook has nowhere to go. And here she made a mistake, which is bishop c5. The computer offers to take this pawn, which is, yeah, it's just a free pawn. But she didn't take the pawn. She decided to activate her bishop. So here I took the rook, and now I protect the pawn, and there's no way she can take it. However, I do need to be careful here because she has a pair of bishops and a rook, and there can be some kind of attack. So rook f8, I move away with the bishop. Now she has a central pawn, which is very good. She has an active rook, and my rooks are very, very passive. Yet I have an advantage of plus 2.4 according to the computer. Now king b8, b4. Now I chose the wrong plan. I decided to start attacking her king, but eventually I just blocked my own bishop. You see, now it's a drawn position because I literally just blocked my bishop. Now here, um, yeah, I chose just the wrong plan. f3, yeah, it was a mistake. The computer actually suggests to give up my bishop. I don't know, I wouldn't have done it in the game, but anyway, f3. Now, yeah, I'm losing. I'm completely lost here, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that my position was terrible because she has 2 passed pawns, and I thought that I would lose it. I was 100% sure that I would lose this, but here she should have gone with the king somewhere to this side of the board and tried to make a queen. Instead, she just moved to their king to the other side of the board, which was a wrong plan. Here, I managed to come with the king to the center, and there was just nothing she could do to push her pawns, and we agreed to a draw. This game I played in the 5th round, again with the white pieces, against 2000. I thought I had no chances, but I actually had. So e4, e5. Here we just, yeah, let's again just skip the opening quickly. Now here I plan on attacking. You see my bishop perhaps. If I sacrifice my pawn, then my bishop might be active. I might bring my knights, my queen. That was my plan for the game. Now c6 with an idea of moving d5, opening the bishop. Rook a1, d6, h3, here queen b4, attacking my pawn. The best move was to move rook b1, just protecting it, then maybe kicking out the queen and then coming back with the rook. But instead, I decided to sacrifice my other pawn, which was actually a mistake. Oh, what was my plan? So after rook takes c5, I move b3, and now black can't take my knight because I I get I get an advantage in material. So instead, my opponent moved d5, rook fe1. Now we exchanged rooks. Here, his pieces are quite active on the e line, and there is no way my rook can come here. If I decide to come with the rook to e2, then it's just a blunder because I lose my rook. So c4, I try to open this d line for my rook. Instead, he moves d4, creating a passed pawn that can in future be protected. However, now I move knight e2, attacking it, and if my opponent moved c5, then I would take this b7 pawn. Instead, he moves queen e5, but it turns out that there was no way to protect this pawn because now I take here, and if takes, then I give a check and take the queen. So knight c2, yeah, so this whole thing. And here, as you can see, he made these two squares weak, and I decided to start some attack. Here I just, yeah, came with the queen, something I tried to do simply on the queen side. b5, a4. Now I brought my knight, threatening knight f5, and he won't be, which is a fork, and he won't be able to take because of the pin. So he moved king f8. Here, I moved queen b8, check, which was actually the not exactly the correct thing to do. I should have moved queen to e5, and if the knight moves, then I just checkmate my opponent in two moves. And if he attacks, well, then he's gonna have some problems after, for example, knight g4 and yeah, such checkmate. However, I didn't see this move, so I made a draw, and it's sad that I could have won, but I didn't because I didn't see it. Another game, it was I played in the sixth round with the black pieces. So I played against a 1900. Yeah, so as always, let's skip the opening. Here I have a central pawn. I hoped that it would make me, like, give me some advantage. Here he has an active bishop, yeah, a knight in the corner of the board. However, it can be brought back into the game by, for example, knight b5, some threats if the bishop comes here. So f3, he doesn't like my central pawn, and he wants to exchange it. And he actually managed to do that, however, at the price of making my knight active. But I later came back to the same square, knight d5. Yeah, I didn't have a plan, so I just kept moving back and forth. I should have started some kind of attack on the d3 pawn because it's like it's a potential for attacking. Maybe somehow try to attack with the knight, bring the rooks. But I didn't know what to do, so I kept moving with my pieces back and forth. I let his rook come to an active file. Now here I was threatening to move b5, and when the bishop moved, to take his pawn. However, yes, he would have this and this and this, but in the future, yeah, I could have some kind of attack like this. So he moved a4, not letting me move b5. Queen c7. I literally didn't know what to do in this game. I exchanged some pieces. I moved g6, but now I'm weakening these two squares, and I'm also letting him come to the 7th rank. I tried to exchange some the rooks, and I managed to do that. However, his pieces are too active. He's attacking me. The position is terrible. And here, perhaps I could have made a draw. Although I don't think that he would have made a draw. But this would give me a hope to make a draw. However, I moved king h8 because I wanted to win. I don't know what got into me, but I really want to win. And I blundered a checkmate in one. I don't know how this happened, guys. I thought for about 3 minutes on this move, and they blundered a checkmate in one. It was so sad. But yeah, I don't know how this happens. But yeah, this left a huge mark on me. I got so sad after this game, and that I could have made a draw, but I didn't. And eventually I lost by blundering a mate in one move. This doesn't happen too often to me, and when it does, I get really sad. But I managed to get a good result in this tournament with 4.5 points out of 7, and I gained some elo. So overall, I'm happy with this tournament because this is the only loss that I had in this tournament. I had 3 wins, 3 draws, and this one loss. And really, I'm happy with the results. So thank you for everyone who watched this video, and goodbye.